if you want to take me to dinner, take me to some place I would take myself. You know what I'm saying? I don't go to Chili's. I take the kids to Fridays, but me myself, that's not something I'm picking. So if you can't go to places that I go, then we're not in the same space. We don't live the same life. We're not matched the same way. Like, I don't feel like, while I'm not saying that you have to spend $200, right? I'm also I'm not going to dumb down the way that I live to meet your budget either.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Sister Time podcast. I am Chanel Latrice.
And I'm Sharice.
And Siobhan.
And we want to thank you guys for coming back and listening to us yet again, watching us on YouTube, wherever it is that you choose to allow us in your life for your entertainment. How's everybody? How are the two of you doing today?
I'm good. I'm tired, but I'm good. You know, I've talked about this journey where I'm getting my teeth done. It has started.
Have you?
Mm-hmm. I've talked
Not
about
on
it.
Here.
Oh, maybe I talked about another podcast. Yes, I'm on a journey. I'm getting my teeth done, getting my teeth completely redone. And I started this process 2 days ago, so I still have some soreness on my face a little bit. But yeah, it's gonna be a journey though. Like, it's like a year and a half.
Well, I believe you. Well,
what about you, Sharice?
Well, Reese tired. Finally moved in.
Yay!
But step one, boxes all over the place, and still gotta get furniture. I finally got my desk after almost a week of it just being lost in the sauce.
Yeah,
lost in the sauce.
That's like about it. Just trying to, get settled in here. That's it.
Well, I'm actually tired as well. We're tired for different things, huh? I'm tired as well because I live in the stupid Midwest, where if you have allergies, you probably should move, which I have not done.
Yeah.
And all day, actually starting last Friday, a couple days ago, OMG. I don't know if y'all can hear it, but my allergies are kicking my behind right now. I'm trying not to sneeze on here, y'all. If I do, my bad.
I mean, being coastal has definitely helped my allergies, but it's not great. But being on this side of the country, because I'm coastal and it's like saltwater air, it's definitely helped because it's not as dry, so it's not as much shit in the air. But no.
The thing is, it ain't even dry here. Y'all know it's hella humid in Cincinnati. It's just because it's a lot of different trees and stuff. It's a lot of different pots.
That's the other thing.
Ridiculous. It's
I don't deal with.
Oh my gosh.
I don't deal with dogwoods here, which is common in the Midwest. And if anybody doesn't know what an actual dogwood tree, it's the semen trees.
The semen trees.
They smell like semen. It's weird.
So we have trees that smell like semen, and then they're not really called pussy willows, but that's what everybody know them as.
Yeah, I didn't know they weren't actually called that until
I can't remember what they're actually called, but those
I was good before I realized it was actually called.
I remember we were down in Atlanta. Somebody was like, "It's not like sex out here," and they turned around and looked. It's like, "Oh, it's that tree."
Yeah, the trees smell like semen. It's very strange.
For real?
Yes.
Yeah, for real. So I definitely know the one that it smells. See, I don't want to just say it smells like a vagina but it kind of does.
But it does. It does.
For real, that's really a thing. Crazy, right?
Yeah, we don't have those over here because I was talking to somebody that's like native to New York, and I was like, "Oh, I'm so glad I don't have to deal with the semen trees." They said, "What are you talking about?" I was like, "If you go down south or you go to the Midwest, you'll get that like strong smell of semen. It's the dogwood trees, but I can't breathe. They be killing my allergies."
Yeah, craziness.
Have you never noticed that?
I haven't.
Yes, I remember. I know all about those things. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I guess we could go ahead and get into today's topic. And Siobhan, what might that be?
So I was just scrolling Instagram because y'all know I be mad active on Instagram.
Hella.
And I saw something the other day that said, if a man take you out on a first date and don't spend at least $200, he broke and you should worry about yourself, sis. So then I got to thinking, what do y'all think is like what's an acceptable amount to spend on a first date?
Whatever your pockets allow you to do.
But would you not date a man that spends under a certain threshold?
Not necessarily.
Expound, please.
Because it's not, to me, it's not about how much you're spending on me. It's about what it is that we do.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't mind, because first off, I don't mind going to very, very open public places as first dates, middle of the day, whatever. So if we go to a park somewhere and he has actually just taken the time to put some, like, go get some Chick-fil-A, I wouldn't care, actually, because I'd rather just be able to speak to you and everything and be able to get to know you in general. I'm not saying that you have to spend. Now, if your pockets allow you to take me to Ruth Chris, then that's fine. It's more irritating when you try to take me somewhere that you can't afford and then try to limit what I can get. Just go places that you can afford. Stop trying to keep up with the Joneses. Stop allowing your dumbass friends, the dumbass TV tell you what you're supposed to spend on a woman. And also stop letting your dumbass friends and dumbass TV tell you how much a man is supposed to spend on you. I feel like if you immediately go in with the attitude of, if he don't spend this much the first time we go out, it's like, are you looking for a companion or are you looking for a sponsor?
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, what are we really doing here? If you have that type of attitude. So no, that's not my attitude. It's not about how much you spend. It's about what we have decided to do. What did you want to do with me? Where are we going? And then don't do that whole, yeah, we going to Ruth Chris, but you can only get one thing and you only allowed to have water. It's like, then why we go to Ruth Chris? We should with Chili's then.
Okay.
I agree. I don't have a dollar amount, and to whoever said that, I don't know, she needed a reality check, because she wants some guy to like start investing in her right away. For what? Like, that's silly to me. And I'm starting to see things like that pop up more often now. It's like, who these women think they are? Men should just be giving or spending like $200 plus on the first date. So it's not a number for me. I am pretty much like what Chanel said. It's about what we do. But whoever that is, don't listen to her. Like, she gonna have you just messed up in the game. Like, for real.
Y'all hear the plane? As soon as I said it was mad quiet at the plane. But I live near an airport, so this shit happens all the time. But I don't know. For me, okay, follow me here. I'm not saying it is a dollar amount, but I'm also not gonna say that this is wrong. And this is why I say that. Because if you want to take me to dinner, take me to someplace I would take myself. You know what I'm saying? I don't go to Chili's. I take the kids to Fridays, but me, myself, that's not something I'm picking. So if you can't go to places that I go, then we're not in the same space. We don't live the same life. We're not matched the same way. Like, I don't feel like, while I'm not saying that you have to spend $200, right? I'm also not going to dumb down the way that I live to meet your budget either. Because you can't, sometimes you just, people just ain't in your budget, and that's fine. Like, if my life ain't in your budget, that's cool. We
It's
ain't gotta
one
do this.
day. It's not necessarily like your life, though.
I was gonna say that. Are we just making the assumption that he can't take you somewhere else, or he just chose not to?
But either way it goes, because if I say, like, if he say, let's go to dinner, you pick the restaurant, right? But every restaurant I pick, he say no for this, that, or the third. We don't live the same life. Because if you suggest a restaurant and it's not someplace that I go to, I'm not going. It's fine, whether it's one date, whether it's every day, whether it's, because it's like, you still got, no, I'm not saying that you need to jump out the window spending money, right? But I need to know, because when you date, first date, second date, third date, it's still an audition. You're auditioning to put yourself into my life. Mm-hmm. So I need to know that you can match my life that I'm already giving to myself. Like, when I show up, I don't need you making comments about my handbag or my shoes or this restaurant is too expensive. Because clear, when you already telling me whether you can or can't, you telling me you don't want to match where I'm already at for myself. Whether you can or can't do it is regardless. You telling me you don't want to. So that's why I say she's not wholly wrong if this is what she already does for herself. Like, if me and my friends, when we go out and we go to STK or whatever else, but then you trying to take me out and you like, oh, well, let's go to Fridays. No, I'm not going to Fridays. I don't go there normally, so I'm not going there with you.
You're equating first date with dinner, though. What if it's not a dinner? What if you guys just go out somewhere else?
But the reason I said dinner is because that just happened to come to mind. But regardless of the activity, if it's not something that I would normally do, so even if it's like, if I say, okay, well, he say, I want to take you on a date, you say where you want to go. Y'all know I love museums. I want to go to the museum. He like, nah, I don't want to do that. Well, I mean, what the fuck? Like, why'd you ask me what I want to do if you don't want to do what I want to do? Like, if I say, because that's why I say it's not really about a dollar amount, because the whole point of this dating process is to see if y'all lives fit. And I think too many times we as women try to adjust our life and our standards to have a man, right? So you end up doing shit that he want to do, but he don't never want to do shit you want to do. Like, he want to go to the baseball game and you don't give a fuck about baseball, but you will go because that's what he want to do. But when you say, babe, let's go to the Rose picnic, he like, I don't want to do that punk ass shit. And then you end up going with your friends.
I don't know. I guess to me, what you're saying, it's like, in one breath you're saying it's not about the dollar amount, but then the next thing you say, yes, it is a dollar amount. So it's like,
how
is it? I mean, you said it's not about dollar amount, not about the dollar amount, but she's not wrong.
She's not, because I'm not putting I'm not, when I say, because I don't agree with the fact that if he don't spend this amount of money, then he's not whatever. But I'm saying I'm extrapolating a level of meaning, right?
But
because I'm extrapolating that it's an assessment of he's not meeting a lifestyle that you're living. Now, if you one of them girls that don't live that lifestyle, that's not really your life, and you're looking for this nigga to upgrade you, that's different. But if you're already somebody who your night out may be $200 and he can't match that, then maybe your life ain't matched.
I feel like you're adding.
I just said I'm extrapolating a level of meaning. I did say that.
Yeah, you're adding things that we don't even know what her intention was. Because the only thing she said was, if he don't spend $200, he not right. And just that statement is not necessarily true.
Yeah, the statement on his face, I don't agree with. But
it depends on what you do.
But why, the reason, again, because I extrapolated a level of meaning that may or may not have been there. I could be putting the sauce on it. But it's still, I'm still saying it, it's less about the dollar and more about the standard, right?
But
because y'all not gonna lower y'all standards to be with whoever just to say you with somebody.
That I agree with.
Again, I could be putting the sauce on what her meaning was, because she could be very shallow and just be like, this broke ass nigga ain't spending $200, even though she ain't got $200 for the month. I could be putting the sauce on it, but yeah, I was just looking at it a little bit deeper.
And when you just think of the statement, if he don't spend $200, then he's broke. That's not necessarily true. Maybe he just don't want to invest $200 into you yet.
That's not necessarily true, but it is.
Especially because
I was trying to look a little deeper. I didn't want to just stay on the surface of it. I wanted to look a little deeper to it.
Especially considering the fact, women are real good for saying, well, I'm going to do all that for him. He ain't my man yet. We ain't done nothing yet. We ain't serious yet. So it's like, sometimes it's like women want people, I'll say people in this particular instance, we're talking about women, but they want to eat their cake and have it too. And it's like, you can't do that. So
I'm so glad you said that the right way.
If you can't go in with the attitude of, I'm not going to give him anything of what he's looking for immediate, or whatever his number one thing is. Let's say your number one thing for a man is the amount of money he has and the amount he's willing to spend on you, but you want him to do that immediately. And his number one thing is you coming over and cooking for him. If you're not willing to do his number one thing at the very first meeting, why is it that you're expecting him to do your number one thing at the very first meeting? We can't keep going in with the attitude of he's supposed to do such and such, blah, 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 blah. But then when someone says you're supposed to do, your immediate reaction is, that ain't my man, he ain't my husband. It's like, at what point are you actually showing the qualities that he's going to want to have in a wife, while you're expecting him to show you the qualities that you want to have in a husband?
Right. That's why I say, like for some people who have a lot of money, $200 on the first date isn't a lot. That's like play money. When we talk about that, some average folk, $200 on the first date is a lot for somebody that you don't know, for you to invest in. Because what I thought you was going to go with it, Chanel, is saying you want him to spend this money on you on the first date, and he probably wants sex on the first date. But you like, nah, I'm not giving it out on the first date, blah, blah, blah. But he can pay these $200 for me. Well, I feel like you can't do that.
Only reason I didn't use sex is because the amount of money that somebody spends on you on the first date normally has the deeper meaning of him being able to take care of you versus just a quick physical satisfaction. That's the reason I didn't use sex.
I mean, there are men who think that the more money that you spend does equate that you're gonna get some. There are men who think that.
Yeah, I get that, but the reason I said that, because there are a lot of men who just want to have sex right off the bat, and then women be like, I don't know, sometimes, just because they don't want the high body count and all that. We talked about the difference in men having sex and women having a lot of sex before. So
I hate
it's that thought, and you can't want to just save that having sex and want him to come out and then do all the spending right away. Because like I said, he shouldn't have to invest too much into you right away when you're not doing the same thing. So it's kind of the same thing you're saying.
But is buying dinner investing into you?
Yes.
Because how? It's dinner. Like,
you spending money and investing your time. It might not be a big investment, but it's something.
But to me, I don't look at that as investing into you, because the thing is, you was gonna eat anyway. Whether you was gonna eat here or not don't matter, because you was gonna eat anyway. Whether I was sitting across from you or not, you was still gonna eat. So at this point, I'm just giving you company for some shit you was gonna do anyway. I don't look at that as you investing into me, because you're not. You're spending time that you would have spent anyway. I just happen to be sitting here. When we get to something where it's like you're moving stuff to spend time with me, that's different. But when I just happen to be a part of some shit you was gonna do anyway, I don't look at it like
Nah,
that.
you wasn't already gonna go out. You wasn't already gonna get dressed. You
I
wasn't
mean, that
already gonna
depends on
spend
who
that
you
money.
are. Some people eat out every day.
I
If
mean,
you was
yeah,
already
some
gonna
people
go out
do.
to eat and I just happen to be here, is that an investment into me?
I mean,
No, that was some shit you was already gonna do. But regardless
some
of where
people
you
do.
at, but regardless of where you at, you was gonna eat anyway. You were gonna eat food anyway. I just happened to be here. You just eating food at a different location. That's not invested into me. You didn't make any special effort to spend time with me. You just moved some shit you was already gonna do to a different location.
Isn't that effort?
Not really.
But it's effort though.
That's not investing into me. I don't think that.
It's investing time and money.
Well,
We're not gonna agree on this.
I don't agree with the term investment. Do you feel the same way as the woman invested too?
She invests her time.
I was just asking. So yes.
Yeah. I don't like.
Okay, but for me, honestly, I don't agree with the term investing into me. I don't agree with that term. But yeah, I like I was saying, I say it goes more along the lines of the whole trying to show you expecting someone to show you husband qualities before you're willing to show wife qualities.
Now, I see the thing, it's like, for me, myself, this is just me speaking in my big age. If, whether it's a friend, a potential partner, whoever else, if it's somebody that I'm trying to introduce into my life, right?
Mm-hmm.
I need to see how they live. I also need them to see how I live, right? Because when I think of relationships, I think of people that you're bringing into your life. And the worst thing to do is to bring somebody, is to try to drag somebody into your lifestyle that's not there for whatever reason. It don't have to be financial. It's just, that's just not the life they live. And then you're either spending your time trying to dumb it down because you feel guilty because you live a life that is different from theirs. So you're trying to dumb it down to meet their life, or you spending all this time trying to force them to catch up to you. You know what I'm saying? Some people like Chili's, right? And that's fine. There's nothing wrong with it. I don't, but I'm not going to try to force you to go to the places I go to when you are Chili's and Fridays type of chick. Like, that's just, I'm not going to feel guilty because I'm not. So that's what I think about. I don't think about it as like any level of, when you like talking about investment into that, and especially when you talk about romantic relationships, because it's like, you got to decide, do you want to meet this person where they're at, or do you not, right? Because the last thing you're gonna make me do is feel guilty about some shit. Like, I don't need to be with or around people who, because y'all know I like designer handbags. Y'all all know that. Everybody who knows me know that. And y'all know I will go spend money on a handbag. But there have been times where I've had friends who don't see that shit as valuable. So because I was trying to make this friendship, because I thought this friendship was more valuable than me myself, right? So I'm trying to, so I would go out of my way to not carry certain bags or not buy certain things when I was around this person to make them feel like we live the same life. And I had to really realize that I'm stressing myself out to fit somebody else's lifestyle when I don't need to do that. Just like I've had friends who spend money on like wild amounts of money on shit that I don't think is necessary, but I had to remove myself because I'm like, we don't live the same life, and I'm not going to make this person feel guilty because this is what they choose to do. You know what I'm saying? And I think when you think about dating, it's the same type of thing, because it's like, you either got to decide, is the life that I live important enough that I want to bring this person, try to drag this person along, do I want to dumb my life down to try to meet it? Do I want to try to date this person that's above my lifestyle and pretend like I'm living the same life? You know, it's all about being equally matched, in my opinion.
Yeah, all that you're saying all sounds good. Again, I think you put a lot more of
I'm sure I put more thought,
a larger spin. Yeah, because
we're talking about first date.
Forget the first. I'm not even talking about the first date thing. She could have said the third date. I really don't care, because what she made it sound like was he got to spend this amount of money, and it's
but
like,
it also,
that's not.
I mean,
we need to stop perpetuating that he has to spend X amount of money when he takes you out.
When I saw that, the first thing I thought of was, this is someone who's looking for somebody to take care of them. That's the first thing I thought. Like. That is the first thing I thought. But I also said that, like, I made the conscious choice to not look at it from that angle. Because if that's you looking for, sis, that's you. But don't try to throw that out like that shit's normal either.
That's what I'm saying. We have to stop perpetuating that and saying they have to spend X amount. Now, it would have been a totally different thing if she said something along the lines of, if he don't take you where you would take yourself, he not for you, sis. Or
that's different. Yes,
if he would do XYZ regardless of the cost, or even if it costs $500, that's a different statement. She's flat out saying he got to spend $200.
Yeah, but and also, I mean,
and we all just on her, or $200 for the both of them.
It just said if he don't spend at least $200.
Where are you going? I eat seafood and drink. $200.
I mean, $200 here in New York is like standard bill.
I live in Cincinnati.
It's, that because that also depends on where you live too, right?
Yeah, because that's very true.
Here in New York, shit, Fridays could be $200. Like, it depends on where you live too. So it's also that comes into play, because I mean, I have friends here in the city that guys have tried to date them and take them to fast food restaurants because they couldn't afford to go to the sit down places, even the Fridays or the Chili's. Because I mean, we've spent $200 in the Chili's. I don't even eat Chili's food. That's the wild part. But I think I had fries and drinks, and we spent $200 in the Chili's. Because that's just normal, because that's how much shit costs here. We went to STK, which is a steakhouse down in Manhattan, and our bill was $500. That's not abnormal. Shit, it might have been more than that now that I think about it. But either way it goes, that's not an abnormal thing here in this city. So 200 is kind of minimal when you talk about two people going out to dinner, and you talk dinner and drinks and all that. 200 is minimal here, but 200 in a place like Cincinnati, it's like, bitch, where's you going? Like,
I still don't understand why it's just dinner. Like, first date, I would actually suggest not going to dinner on the first date.
It's because most people's first date is dinner. Like, let's just
dinner and movie. That's dumb.
But I got a question. Why you say dinner is not a good first date?
Well, it depends on where you go.
Movie. I can understand movie, but why dinner?
Yeah, definitely movie. It depends on where you go. Sometimes it's like loud and you're not really paying attention. I probably like more of like drinks, although that can get loud too, but you don't have to worry about spending too much money yet if you don't want to.
Most people's first date is dinner though. So that's why I keep saying dinner, because if you think about most people's first date, they either go out to dinner or they go out for drinks. That's almost everybody's first date. It's very rare that people's first date is something outside, that people's first date take place before 7:00 and it's something outside of a restaurant and or bar.
No, I get it. I'm telling just the world that I don't think it should be. Definitely not a movie. And dinner, it can get expensive, and you might not want to do that yet. And I think that's okay to not want to spend that much money yet.
I mean, I think your first date should be whatever is real and true to you and the person that you're dating, right? I don't think a monetary value should be put on a first date. If you're athletic, y'all first date could be rock climbing. If it depends, like I think it should be something that's real and true to you and the person that you're dating. I don't think that monetary value should be placed on it, but so many people place so much value on money spent that they don't look at is this person trying to really get to know me? Is this person trying to do something that I genuinely would enjoy? Is this person trying to, is this person taking an interest in who I am as a person versus how much money did they spend?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
that's what I was saying initially. Like too many times we always want to put how much he spent, where'd y'all go? How much was the bill? Well, what were we able to get? It's like, that's not what it's about. That's not what it's about. Because even like you said, somebody who has a lot of money, $200 ain't nothing to them. So it's like for people to have the attitude of, I don't want to spend X amount, or you shouldn't spend X amount, or he needs to spend this amount. It's like, that's not what we're doing. It's like, if the first thing that you're talking about is money, I feel like you're putting too much value on money versus actually trying to find somebody that you legitimately want to be with. And it's like, don't get me wrong, I understand that, women, one of the things that we look for is financial security. Totally get that. And I understand that men feel like if he spends money on you, then he deserves something. I get that. But the attitude of, it needs to be X amount, or it shouldn't be more than X amount. It's like, why are you putting so much value on the money itself versus what it is that you're doing? Because it could, if some people love nature walks, you can spend no money and it could be the best date in the world because you and him, or you and her, love nature. And because
or you and them, however your person identifies.
Because he didn't spend whatever amount, he's not good enough. Or if the both of you are used to and thoroughly enjoy going to someplace like Ruth Chris, if that's what y'all can afford and that's what y'all are used to doing, this is what y'all like to do, I don't think that's a bad idea either, if that's what it is that you want to do. Sometimes we just put so much value on money. At any level, honestly, we put way too much value on money, thinking that the amount of money someone spends equates to the way that they feel about you immediately, and that's not necessarily the case. And we got to stop the attitude of, you shouldn't spend X amount, or you have to spend X amount, or else it's not going to work.
I don't even think that's it, that they equate the amount of money with how they feel about you. I just think it's just been said that men are just supposed to spend a lot of money on you every step of the way. And that's just perpetuated.
But I mean, I feel like what you were saying was the opposite, which actually is another thing that shouldn't necessarily be told either, of the attitude of, he shouldn't spend this amount on you at the beginning because he don't want to invest that in you yet. It's like, if that's what they want to do, that's what they want to do.
Well, no, I don't know. I don't think so. I think it's okay for you to set your budget and not want to spend a certain amount.
I understand, but setting your budget doesn't, like, what you consider a budget and what I consider a budget is two different things. So to say, well, you don't want to go out to eat because you don't want to spend that amount of money. Well, maybe they do. Maybe they just don't care. They don't care.
It's also when you talk about setting your budget for what you're going to spend. But that's what I mean when I talk about, sometimes people just ain't in your budget, right? If your budget for a date is $100 and I'm a steakhouse type of bitch, I'm not in your budget. And that's fine. That's completely fine. Just like if your budget is $600 and I'm a private jet type of bitch, I'm not in your budget. And that's fine, people to not be in your budget. And sometimes you could be in somebody's budget but may not feel comfortable. Because like me, myself, if somebody's budget for a date is $600-700, I will be like, you know what? I'm gonna stay home because I don't feel comfortable with that type of money being spent on me this early. Later, yes. Later, I'm gonna run them pockets. But in the beginning, I'm gonna chill because I gotta get to know you, see if I want you. But it's sometimes people just aren't in your budget. And that's what we need to understand, that it's not, while it's while money isn't the central focus, we also need to normalize saying,
but
we're not in the same space too.
But that's the problem. Money is the central focus right now.
Yes,
either way you're thinking about it, money is the central focus, and that's what needs to be gone.
But like, saying that
with that attitude of,
but saying that somebody's budget and what you like to do isn't conducive, doesn't necessarily make money the central focus.
That's a different statement. That's a different statement. What I'm referring to is the statement of he has to spend this amount, and then the statement of he shouldn't spend, or I can't spend more than this amount. Not having to do anything with a budget.
Yeah.
It's the attitude of, well, she ain't my girl yet, so I ain't spending more than $50 on her. But it's like,
right.
What the heck is that attitude? Like, what?
Wait, what's wrong with that?
No, there's a difference between setting a budget and having an attitude of, I ain't gonna do.
There's no bitch ever that's gonna get more than $50.
Wait a minute. There's a difference. There's a difference between setting a budget and then saying, I ain't spending this amount of money on nobody that ain't my girlfriend yet. It's like, if that's in your budget and that's what y'all like to do, why do you have the attitude of, no, we going to McDonald's because I don't know you? It's like, but I don't want
right.
It's like, why is it?
The attitude should be.
Hold on, there's a difference between a budget being set because that's what you can or cannot afford, and a different attitude of, I'm not doing XYZ because she's a gold digger. That's immediately what they think. Yeah. If you spend an X amount of money, or if she expects whatever, it's like, no, this is what I like to do. And if you're not taking me to do what I like to do, then but you can, why are we even going down this road? Right. What's your attitude?
Well, if you just don't want to spend that much money on a stranger yet. You can, but you don't want to.
The attitude shouldn't be about how much money you spend. It should be about what are we going to do together to get to know each other and see if we can build something. It shouldn't be about how much money you spend or whatever else. That shouldn't be the thing.
Why is it that it's okay for us to talk about the females with the attitude of, he got to spend X amount of money? We have an attitude with that, but nobody says anything when these dudes come in with this attitude of, I ain't doing such and such until. It's like, but if you can afford it, if that's what we like to do, why are we not doing that?
He don't know you. Why would you want to spend that much money on a stranger?
But you just said, what you said was, she's wrong for expecting a certain amount of money to be spent on her, but he's right for saying, I ain't spending shit on this girl because I don't know her.
It's his money. It's not her money.
So wait. So do you think it's two different things? Because I think where we're getting where we're missing each other might be, it sounds as if you are equating either situation to just setting a budget. Are you?
No, I don't quite follow you.
So okay, let's say I'm the person that's paying for the date, and I know I traditionally have $2,000 of disposable income each month, right? Mm-hmm. So I know I can afford, and the thing that I like to do, and the thing that she likes to do, is something that costs $500, right? Have no problem with spending $500. $500 ain't nothing to me. But for me, like, I feel like having that, saying that's setting a budget. I feel like that's different than saying, we about to go to this hole in the wall bar and just have drinks that cost $3 because I don't know this bitch and I ain't gonna do XYZ regardless to what it is that either one of us may like to do. It's not even necessarily something that you like to do. You just got this in your, not you, but me. I just have it in my head of the attitude, I ain't doing it. I'm gonna even downgrade myself because I ain't spending more than $20. And I feel like that's different than setting a budget. I feel like that is attaching an attitude of X amount of money should be.
She has to prove her value. Whatever. She has to prove her worth before.
Hold on, wait a minute.
I'm willing to do.
So that breakdown. Do you feel like me saying $500 is nothing to me? This is what I do. This is what she likes to do. So we're going to go ahead and do it. Do you feel like that is different than, or is that the same as we going into this hole in the wall bar because I ain't spending no more than $20 on her?
feel like you're going extreme, but essentially, yes, it's the same. But I'm not saying either do what you want to do or go to this hole in wall bar. I think you went to the complete extreme.
I just picked something because I don't know what it is in your head as to what's X amount that he should or shouldn't spend on somebody on the first date.
Sure, but the way you framed it made the second option made it seem like really bad. This is what I'm saying. Yes, I can afford $500. We both like to do this $500 thing, but we also like to do this $100 thing. Let's do that. Like, what can we do something else?
But okay, that is, even with you saying it that way, that even gives a different framework as to the way you were saying it before. Because the way you were saying it before was example, when you were talking about the going out to dinner, you shouldn't go out to dinner because it could get costly. It's like, so if
I'm talking about average, people, average earner.
It doesn't matter. And the reason I say it doesn't matter is because going out to eat, like, things getting costly is absolutely dependent upon the person, but that also depends on the restaurant. If you know that you ain't got Ruth Chris money, don't go to Ruth Chris. But if you want to go to, I don't know, B Cozumel, if that's what you like to do, if that's what y'all can do, then fine, go there. But going to dinner doesn't immediately mean that you're going to spend hundreds of dollars. That just depends on where you go. That also has to do with an actual, like, your actual budget versus the attitude of don't go to eat because it's going to cost too much. But cost too much is all dependent upon what your pockets look like.
Yeah, of course. I mean, like I said, I'm just talking about average people usually do not have that much money to go out and spend. That's who I'm talking about. Average earners. I'm not talking about everybody.
Okay. So within, I guess I'm not quite understanding as to why you were saying don't go out to eat because it costs too much. I'm confused. Because are you telling people to just stay in their budget, or are you saying don't spend X amount of money on a woman on the first date?
One, I don't believe I said don't go out. I think I said I wouldn't recommend going out to eat.
Okay.
I don't think I said like straight out don't.
Okay.
I feel like that's a little different.
Okay. Well, let's go with the I don't recommend. So are you saying because I don't recommend you spending this amount of money on a woman, or because it might be outside of your budget? Because that's also a different, those are two different statements.
I don't think you necessarily have to spend that much money on a stranger. Like, even if you can afford, let's say 100, you don't have to just because you can afford it.
Nobody said you have to. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is both attitudes, although it's coming from two different people, both attitudes were putting too much value on the money versus what it is that we're doing. That's the way I see it. I see it as you putting too much on the amount of money being spent.
But if it's your money you worked for, I don't understand like why you could police somebody's pockets.
I didn't say you could police anybody's pockets. That's not what I'm getting at. What I'm getting at is that, first off, you can always make more money. You can always make more money unless something catastrophic happens to you where you can't work, whatever the case may be. You can always get more money. So,
and you're gonna spend it regardless.
Hold on, I'm not even gonna go with that. Let's say you're not gonna spend it. I'm not even gonna go with that. I'm gonna straight up say, why is so much value being placed on money? Money is just a piece of paper or cloth, really. But why are we putting so much value on that? Either way, no matter which person it is, the person that's saying, you should spend this amount, or the person saying you shouldn't spend this amount. Why are we putting so much value on money? Why is it that the amount of money spent equates to the value of an actual person? And that's what we keep perpetuating when it comes to dates. Mm-hmm. The amount of money spent on me or not spent on me does not equate to who I am as a person. If it has anything to do with you wanting to date me, then you should be wanting to date me and we go and do things that I or we like to do, versus saying, oh no, we ain't spending that amount of money. It's like, so are you saying
She's
that
not worth this amount.
I'm not like, are you saying that you want to get to know me, or are you saying that you only want to get to know me as long as I don't spend such and such amount of money? Like, what is the thing? It's like we're putting too much value on money itself. Either way, like I said.
I agree.
Because I understand what you're saying in regards to the average person and what they may or may not have and had disposable income or what they can spend. I totally get that and understand that. But that goes back to, if your budget only allows you to do XYZ, then that's fine. Then let's do things that we enjoy versus immediately saying, how much does it cost? Like how much am I going to spend? If you're worried about how much I'm going to spend because of your budget and you just can't afford it, that's one thing. But the attitude of, I'm not doing such and such because of XYZ and the person's value isn't enough for me to spend that money. I think that's the thing that I'm like, what the heck? What are we doing here? Why are we putting so much value on money? I think we as a society, period, put too much value on money.
But also, that also goes into what I was saying when I say that if the question is, well, how much is it going to cost or this or that, you need to adjust who you're dating to fit your budget, whether it's your real budget or what you're willing to spend, right? Because it's like, you know, we all know what we expect when we go out. We all know what we spend when we go out. So there's not somebody who can walk up to us and be like, oh, I'm gonna take you out, but the max is $75, because we're not gonna go. Not if it's a situation where it's like, oh, we're gonna go to dinner, but the max is $75, because we know what we will spend when we go out, especially depending on where you live, right? So it's like, it's also, yeah, you may have this budget and this is what you decide that you spend, this is what you decide your first dates are worth or whatever else, but you can't go after a woman who expects more than that and then say, oh, she a gold digger. It's like, no, bitch, I have standards, and this is the standard that you need to meet to be in my space. Like, we also need to act like, we need to stop acting like a woman who has a certain level of standard, whether it's monetary or otherwise, it's just because she's a gold digger. Maybe it's just, this is the standard that you need to meet to be in my space. And there's nothing wrong with that.
The most of the men who use the term gold digger don't have any gold to dig for.
You're right.
Men with money, usually they don't mind women. They're like, okay, well, they have their standards. So I just want to say that. But
no, I
how
agree
about
with that, but
on like the first date, let's get to know each other. I don't even understand why there has to be a lot of money, or if any money spent. Why can't we just go like talk or something? I don't know.
I mean, like, you're gonna spend money at some point.
Wait a minute, but I feel like I feel those statements are the thing I'm referring to when I say sometimes it's like you're contradicting yourself. Are you worried? Yeah, sure. Yeah. Are you worried about the money or aren't you? Because you just said, why don't we actually just get to know each other? Why are you worried about the money? Right? But then you also said, don't go out to eat because it could cost too much. It's like, are we worried about the money or aren't we worried about the money?
Why are you worried about the money being spent on you? No, that's what I'm saying. No,
that's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying I'm worried about the money being spent on me. What I'm saying is, what you're saying is just the exact opposite of what she's saying, but the basis of it is still about the money.
I'm not contradicting myself.
You are, because
I hear a contradiction, but
I'm not.
This is the reason why I said that. This is the reason why I said that. In one breath, you said, "Why are we worried about the money? Do something that get to know me. Let's get to know each other, right?" So if that's the statement, then another statement can't be, X amount shouldn't be spent, or I don't recommend doing this because it's going to cost whatever. It's like, so if we're not worried about the money, so that means it doesn't matter if you spend $5 or $500. We're not worrying about.
I guess let me rephrase it. Stop worrying about his money. Stop worrying about the amount of money he's spending on you. Even if it was a female, don't worry about what's in my pockets. If
The
I
thing
want to
about it
spend, if I
is,
want to go
it's
and buy
not
you a
about-
quarter pop, then you gonna get this quarter pop. Don't worry about what's in my pockets. That's what I'm talking about.
but
When I
the
say
thing
don't worry
about it
the
is
money.
when you go out on a date, money's gonna be spent. Regardless, money is gonna be spent, right? So it's just, what are we doing? Like, if I think back over my dating years and, you know, in my very big age, one of my favorite dates, we were eating tacos at a picnic table, right? It wasn't like we were having tacos and margaritas at a picnic table, having a great conversation. Money's going to be spent. I don't remember how much was spent. I know he bought the first set and I bought the second set, and it just, you know, whatever. Because it's like whoever gets their car first. That's just how I operate. Whoever gets their car first, who pay for it. Because I don't go nowhere I can't afford to be.
Mm-hmm.
That's just how I operate. I know everybody don't operate like that, but that's me. But it's like, if you go out with somebody, whether it's a romantic partner, a friend, whatever, money's going to be spent eventually. Because guess what's going to happen? Somebody going to get hungry. Somebody going to decide they want to drink. Money going to be spent. When you think about when you go out with your friends, y'all go drinking, y'all go to restaurants, y'all go to, money's going to be spent. So it's not, we need to stop talking about, oh, don't worry about what he's spending up. It's more about, it's not so much about what he's spending. It's like, don't ask me what I want to do and then tell me I can't do what I want to do because you don't want to pay for it. That's what I'm saying.
Why you say that? Nobody, like, that's not even the conversation though. Asking
It
somebody.
is.
No, it's not. Asking, nobody ever said that I'm going to ask you what you want to do. I'm like, oh, nope, we can't do that. Like, that's not one of the
But even big, okay, so we don't say that. Don't try to take me out and then say, oh, this is your limit. What are we doing? We can just stay home. We can talk on the phone for this. Because if I go out and I want $100 worth of tequila shots, but you ask me, because I feel like whoever asks should be the one to pay, regardless of gender. If you ask me out, you should pay for it. Because I paid for many dates because I've been the one to ask. If you ask me out, you should pay for it. So if my ideal date is I go out and do tequila shooters, don't cut me off. Because you asked me here. So you should be able to pay for it, right? Because you don't take me to some place you can't afford.
right. I don't know. I don't know.
I got rather quiet.
We don't agree.
Because you're saying stuff that I don't know why you brought that up. If you take me here, you can't cut me off.
Because I say, don't ask me to a place that you can't afford. So don't walk out, don't come ask me somewhere, but you already know, but you've decided that, oh, you a stranger, I'm not spending no more than this. Don't fucking ask me to go nowhere then.
The thing is, they probably won't take you to that place because.
But they will. But let's
hold
not
on, wait a minute.
do that because they will.
But we talk about two different things, though. I'm not even, for what I'm referring to, I'm not even talking about that situation, what y'all talking about. What I'm talking about is the thinking of you shouldn't do XYZ because it costs too much, to me is no different than the thinking of we can't do such and such because it don't cost enough.
But why
is it okay for one person and not okay for the other?
I'm agreeing.
You're not
with
paying
you.
for it.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter who's paying
to me
for
it does. No, to me it doesn't matter. No, this is the reason why it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because if we're going to go out and do whatever we like, if your actual, if what's behind this whole thing is to get to know me and to date me, then the money shouldn't be the first thing on your mind, unless we're simply referring to what you legitimately can or cannot afford.
That's still the first date.
Yes, it doesn't. It doesn't
matter.
If your first, if one person, their first date could be, like I said, going to the park and all they had was popsicles. That's fine. That's what you consider first date. Somebody else, a first date is going to Jack's, where in Cincinnati you could spend $350. It doesn't, to me, the way I see it is the only question that you should have is how much disposable income do I have? Not, oh, I'm not spending this. It's like, what do you actually want to do? Do you actually want to take me somewhere where I want to go, where I enjoy going and getting to know me? Or are you just worried about how much money you spending on
Or are
me?
you deciding my value based on how much you decide you want to spend on me?
Everybody decides what the value is from the person.
I don't think that. Because if I genuinely want to get to know you and I genuinely want to be involved, what we do or where we go, that doesn't matter. I'm not assigning a monetary value to, like, I'm not like, oh, well, this one here, she only worth 75, but this one, I'm not, and that's what people do. They decide how much money they're gonna spend on somebody based on whatever arbitrary value they've decided that person's worth. And we need to stop doing that, because it's not about that. If your whole purpose of dating is just to see how many bad bitches you can fuck, that's on you. But that's when it comes to you're assigning a monetary value to these women, because you're like, oh, I'll spend this much, but that means that she gonna fuck, and I'll spend this much because she gonna fuck for less and all this other shit. But if you're genuinely trying to get to know somebody, the money shouldn't matter. It shouldn't.
Yeah, to me, like I said, it should only matter when you're talking about how much money you just flat out can afford without putting yourself in situations where you can no longer support yourself.
Right.
I mean, you guys go out with friends and say, I don't want to spend over this amount.
But I'm spending on myself.
I'm that on myself.
But I'm spending on myself. I'm not spending on my friend.
And hold on. And I'm not trying to get to know somebody. I'm not taking somebody on a date with an intention of dating them.
Right. I'm talking about, because if I go out with my friends, I'm talking my own check, and it's like me, myself, this is what I'm spending tonight on myself. If this ain't, I'm not going on a date. This is what I'm spending on myself.
So if you go on a date, you can't say, I'm only going to spend this amount.
No, that's not what but I'm saying, don't.
That is
what that's not what we're saying.
That's not what we're saying. We're not saying that. You are immediately attaching it to just, I can't spend this. No, that's not what we're saying.
No, I can't. I don't want to.
What we are saying is, if the first thing that comes to your head is X amount of money can or cannot be spent, no matter which person is thinking it, I feel like that's an issue. We're putting too much value on the money versus actually trying to get to know and date somebody. Those are two. I'm not talking about, oh, I can only afford $300. That's what you can afford. But if you say I can only afford $300 and the two of you want to go somewhere where you end up only spending $150, all right, fine. You didn't spend everything that you necessarily could have spent. That's totally okay. If we're going to try to get to know each other and we're dating with the intentions of moving something forward, the first thing shouldn't be money. Rather, it be me saying you're not spending enough, or you saying, nah, we ain't gonna do that. It's like, what are we really doing here? Are you talking about your budget, or you got this attitude of, oh no, I ain't doing XYZ for nobody just because I've only known them for 2 days or whatever the case may be. I think that's two different things.
So if I have $500 in disposable income, but I only want to spend $100, but I actually want to get to know this person, that's wrong?
No, I feel like I said before, that's an attitude of a budget of what I'm able to do.
No, I can spend 500, but I only want to spend 100, but I still want to get to know this person.
If the first thing out of your mouth, or the first thing that you're thinking about is, no, we're not gonna do what even both of us may want to do that I can't afford. If the first thing you're thinking is, no, we ain't spending more than $100, I do think that's an issue.
I mean, why it might be the second. It's not the first. You keep saying the first thing. The first thought. Wait. The first thought is, I want to go out with this person. I want to get to know this person. Boom, that's done. Because you keep saying the first thought. That's the first thought. Wait, and then you're like, okay, how much am I going to spend? I do have $500, but I don't know. I don't want to spend $500 yet. I only want to spend one. I do not see why that's an issue.
Because to me, like I said before, I feel like the issue is we're putting too much value on money. We as a society put way too much value on money. That's just how I feel. I don't feel like it should be so that I don't think that should be like, unless we're specifically talking about a budget of what you can and cannot afford, I don't think it should be the necessarily the thought in your head. I don't feel that way. I really don't. I just don't feel that way. If you can afford the 500 and that's what y'all want to do and it gets to 5, even if you go in with the attitude of, well, I only want to spend 100, but so does that mean once the 100 is hit, that means can't nobody do nothing else? We can't have another drink, or I can't do, it's like, is it that you're trying to get to know me, or you worried about the amount of money you spending?
I don't understand why you keep saying that. Like, because
okay,
you can worry about the money
no.
and try to get to know somebody.
This is why I said it. Like I was just saying, let's say we go somewhere, right? You talking about, okay, I only want to spend $100. We're having fun. We're enjoying each other's company. And right now, your bill is at 95. Does that mean now everything needs to stop, shut down? We're not doing this anymore for this particular date because the next round of drinks is going to take me to 110. That's $10 over what my budget is, and that's before a tip. Is that what you're saying? Does that, because if you had in your head initially, okay, I only want to spend $100, does that mean that the moment the $100 is met, or if one more thing is purchased and it'll take me $3 over the 100, does that mean the date is over?
I doubt it.
That means $100 isn't necessarily the thing that you're like, this is all I'm spending. You're going out with the intention of having fun. So you actually don't care that much to go over the $100, which means now you have now taken the value of I only want to spend X amount of money on this person. You've taken that away because now you're saying, okay, we're having fun. We're enjoying each other's company. Yeah, I was only thinking about 100, but you know what? We go ahead and we did spend the $200. So now you've taken the value of I'm only spending X amount for whatever the reason is, you've taken that off, because if you were saying it has to do with the budget of, like you said, $100, that means when that $100 is met, everything is done. And if you don't feel that way, then $100 wasn't necessarily your budget. You just went out and you happen to spend 100, or you didn't happen to spend 100.
$100 is what you wanted to spend. That's like you go out there. Everybody has done this. Have said, this is how much I want to, and you still hanging out. You're like, okay, one more, and then stop.
But for me,
I don't do that when I go out, though.
If I've gone on dates, rather it's we decided that I was paying for whatever, you was paying for whatever the case may be. I don't go in with the attitude of, I don't want to spend X amount of money if it has nothing to do with my actual budget. If I have the 500 that I don't care to spend because that's my budget, I don't go in with the attitude of I'm only spending 100. I'm gonna spend to me having fun. If it's 100,
yeah,
cool. If it's 50, cool. If it's 300, cool. It is what it is.
Yeah, I don't go out like that. Regardless of who I'm going out with, I go out to have fun. I don't go out thinking about how much money I'm gonna spend.
I go out with the attitude of budget and not putting myself in a bad position for my own bills and everything when I come back to real life. I don't go out with the attitude of it's only this amount just because. My attitude is budget to make sure that I'm still doing okay versus if my disposable income is 500 and I spend 500, then I spend 500. That's what I want to do.
But I also only go out with my disposable income. So it's like, if my disposable income is 2,000 and I blow 2,000 in one night, guess who the fuck ain't buying nothing else for the rest of the month? Like that's how I.
But you're not paying for stuff for a stranger. I think it's different when you're a man going out.
But I paid for stuff for a stranger because I firmly believe if you ask somebody out, you pay for it. So I paid for dates. So I don't think men always have to pay. If you ask the person out, you pay for it.
That I agree with as well. I do agree with that. But okay, I mean, the only reason I even said that because you brought up we go out and we have budget. So are we talking about just spending money on strangers? Or are we talking about spending money on ourselves?
The reason I said that because you're acting like that people don't go over every now and then on when they go out. That's the only reason I said that. But to bring it back to the topic, it's different when you're going out on a first date with a stranger. You usually don't want to spend too much money. If it happens, then cool, but it's okay to not want to spend too much money on a stranger. I don't know.
I think it's weird to assign a monetary value to a person. I think that's weird. I also think I think to me, myself, when I hear, oh, I only spend this much on a date, and if what she spends is, I think, to me, I just think you're dating outside your budget. I don't think you're dating the right type of people, to me, because I don't think you're dating people that match your budget and your lifestyle. Because if my lifestyle is, if we go out, if I ask you out, I pay, you ask me out, you pay, we go, we do whatever we gonna do, and whatever it costs is what it costs. That's, you walk out the house and you come out on the date with a budget, we already don't live different, like we already don't live the same lifestyle. That's just how I feel. You walk out the house and you like, I don't spend no more than $100 on first, second, and third dates because I don't know this bitch. But meanwhile, I'm coming in and I'm like, well,
I'm gonna spend all the money in my account.
If we're having fun, then if we spend money, if we're just vibing and we're having fun, the date is what it is. I don't care what the bill is.
There's no limit. You can spend all the money in your account.
To me, when I go out, I don't walk out my house. I don't walk out my house with more than whatever my disposable income is anyway.
Right, of disposable income.
And if I go out with somebody, if the date is $10, it's $10. If the date is $2,000, it's $2,000. I don't give a fuck about that because I'm not thinking about the money. Okay. I'm thinking about who the person I'm spending time with and what we're building.
Well, if you're at 2,000 and that's all your disposable income, y'all still having fun, would you dip into your other money?
That's different. Hold on. Now you compare two different things.
You're conflating issues.
No, it's different. No.
You're conflating issues at this point.
No, that's different. The reason it's different because I made it very clear at the very beginning that there's a difference between understanding your budget of disposable income and then making the decision of I'm not spending more than such and such, although it has nothing to do with
the same thing. Because when you talk about dating, that's disposable income.
That's different.
I'm not saying put your house on the line to go out. Like you're putting the sauce on it because you're trying to make a point. And it's not the same. You are though.
I'm not putting the sauce on because I'm trying to make a point.
It's not the same thing. I'm not talking about I'm not talking about going into money that you can't spend because you have mortgages and card notes and insurance and gotta buy food and all. I'm not talking about that money. We're talking about disposable income. That's it. Just disposable income. Right. If you legitimately don't have it because your disposable income is $2,000, there's nothing you can do about that. But that's not putting a monetary value on a person. This is what I can flat out afford.
This is what my disposable income actually is. Like you're trying, like to me, it feels like you're trying to play the semantics game to prove your point. But
so what y'all saying is y'all can just spend all y'all money, well, not all y'all money, all y'all disposable income on just anybody if y'all just go out. It don't matter who it is.
If it's somebody that I'm genuinely trying to get to know and build a relationship with, and this is how the night goes, and we're vibing, and the night is good, and we're having a good time, we're getting to know each other, and I get the tab at the end of the night, and that bitch say $1,999. Guess who about to pay $1,999? That's just because it's not about the money. It's about how are we building and vibing.
I just think it's different for men because men are valued for their resources and what they bring. So I think it's different.
Okay.
Well, all righty then. We're at about an hour 7, hour 8.
Yeah. We can wrap
all right. Well, yeah, we're gonna go ahead and wrap it up there. You guys can leave any kind of comments, send us anything, what you may think on the topic. We are on Instagram, we're on Facebook, TikTok, and we are on YouTube. Like, share, subscribe to any and every platform that we are on. And I guess that's about it. We'll see you all next week.
Bye.
Peace out.
Peace.